What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Monday morning to all of you. It is March 29th, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we have a beautiful Monday card. Bunch of NHL games, huge NBA slate, and two giant NCAA basketball tourney games. We have a glorious opportunity to get the week off to a nice cash-filled start. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. We got a great group already rolling with us. Thank you, guys. We got Nate Dogg in the house. Nuke Worker coming to us live from Darlington Nuclear, not far from where I am right now. Bob Taylor in the house. TJ Parks. We got Robert Cherry with his looks. Ooh, he's got a lot of baseball going on in the NHL. He's got Leafs, Avs, Knights, Jets, and Wild. And he's passing on basketball. Our man Robert Cherry in the house. Vitalis ready to get to work. No time to waste. You're absolutely right. Viper MB, Mark Unkefer, who has recovered from COVID. Thank God. Oh, thank God you're back in action. Mark Unkefer. K-Paul VIP, ready to go. Vitalis wants to know my thoughts on the Wild tonight. I don't think Marcus Foligno should be this important to the hockey team, but I certainly don't trust them as big favorites right now with the way they're playing. They were just outshot 37-11 by the Blues. I can't take him as a big favorite like this, and I'm a big fan of them. We got Matt Randall in the house ready to get to work. Nilo. It is Nilo's birthday tomorrow. I can't wait to wish him a happy birthday at the stroke of midnight. Taint 2-0 since Benny with the Bag went live. The Czar in the house. We got David Sharp ready to go. Guillermo Zertucci. Gerald Jones. What a great, great group. Thank you guys all for joining us. Birdie gave out two parlays this past on Thursday and Friday. They both cashed. Friday was like plus 586 or 536. I can't remember which one, but Birdie was spectacular. Nate Dogg talking about the Knicks. We'll get into that. David Sharp can catch one of his Final Four futures, man. I hope so. Matt Shedden ready to go. What a great group. Optimus Prime, A. Hilly, TJ Main, Rye Cape, Fap Win, Walla Walla Dose, Robert Allen. I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We have a ton of work to do today. And for some reason, my internet was just messing with me pre-show. Let me see if I can do this now quickly. Well, now can I? Yeah. I don't know if it's me or if it's Twitter. Some is not allowing me to do the promo that I would like to be doing right now. But who cares? We're good. I'll see if it comes back in action, but not allowing me. All right, but let's get to work. Nevertheless, JW pumped to make a live show. We got Good in the house, and the Czar gets us started with NHL, and which is where we're going to go. We got Brandon Lugo in the house. We've missed you, Brandon. The Czar is going to get us started with NHL. So my NHL was rolling on the last 2 days of our show, Thursday, Friday. I went 7-1, but then I went 0-5 on Saturday and was extremely angry. And I'm still upset about it. So I'm looking forward to get back in action. Jojo Rich, one playing NBA lines, crazy Bobby on the Spurs today. And Christopher Carter, team total over for Oregon State. And yeah, Bob Taylor. Zags still look mighty. Very, very, very strong. We got Uncle Oliver in the house. Lucky Lefty. And here we go. Okay, I'm just going to pop this in very quickly just because I don't know what's going on with my internet. So just a little quick promo. If anybody wants to retweet this, that would be great. But and Slick Ricky asking if this is broken. Benny with the Bag is live right now on odds 110. A giant Monday awaits, and I mean that. This is a glorious card for us that I expect we will destroy. And let me just get this out. There we go. Oh, it's not tweeting. There we go. Tweet it out. Okay, that's done. Let's get to work right now. Pull up my worksheet, man. I beat up this card. I spent a lot of time on it. We got Christopher Carter in action. Sharp money in the house. Let's go. We're going to start with NHL. We're going to let the Czar get us going. Shouldn't we all just fade the Sabres the rest of the season? Canadian peeps, let me know. I don't know NHL, but they seem to be a lock to lose out. Now, the only positive thing these Sabres have, and this is our order, we're going to go with NHL, NBA, and then NCAA basketball. The only thing that the Sabres have going for them is that they got Linus Ullmark back in net. That's it. Other than that, this is fade. We had Vitalis come on the show and say that 62% of their games they've lost by more than a goal. We attacked it, and we're going to continue to attack it. Slats45 says, Flyers finally get a win. Hopefully they string some wins starting tonight. Sabres unload Stahl, so another missing piece. And that was a terrible move by them to even sign Stahl in the first place. Brian Warner in the house, and Spenny Pennybaum's giving us his looks. Oregon State and Arkansas, and Arkansas Baylor under 148.5. I love it. I'm with you. All right, Loyalty Chisel. I know you have pet peeves. I've read your pet peeves and your anger, and I apologize. That you're an angry young man. Okay, here we go. Flyers, I'm on the -1 line at -115. The fact that the Flyers aren't bigger favorites here is glorious. Now they become bigger favorites. So when I got them on the -1 line, I got -185 as the money line. It's now -200. The puck line is +130 when I made the move. The puck line now is, but get on this as soon as possible because your money -1 line is not going to be too expensive. Your -1 line could come in at -130 very, very easily. So let's go here. The puck line right now for Philadelphia -1.5. Wow, it's just +125. So we're getting a great number because of how bad these Flyers have been. 6-13-4 on the year, 8-6-1 on the road. Sabres 6-23-4, 2-11-2 at home. We're at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. I would like Brian Elliott to be in that. Loyalty Chisel, great job. I'm happy that you cashed, my friend. Good work. Keep cashing. Try to stop whining. The Brian Elliott, 8-4-1, 2.83 goals against average, 8.92 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Carter Hart, 8-9-3, 4.03 goals against average, 8.69 save percentage, 1 shutout. Jobs are going to be lost. People's families aren't going to be able to be fed if they keep going with Carter Hart. If they decide to go with Carter Hart, I'll let that go. I won't be too angry about it. I won't ditch my action. But I would prefer to see Brian Elliott in that. Birdie says we are benefiting on that Flyer line because they also have been a hot mess. To me, the -1.5 has great value on the Flyers. Flyers get right tonight. Ride Cape says, I think we're going to see Hart. And Vitalis, we'll talk more about that game soon. And I know we have this huge NBA card and NCAA card that we need to attack. And Loyalty Chisel, I apologize if I talk too fast. I know it can be annoying. I have to slow down. It's just that I try to get through NHL quickly because I know a lot of the low baggers really want to talk basketball. The Flyers power play 20.7%. Their penalty killing 72.8%. Atrocious. Sabres power play 23.3%. It's the only thing that's been good this year. And it was Granato's power play, and he's the interim head coach. Penalty killing 77.9%. Linus Ullmark 5-4-2, 2.49 goals against average, 9.18 save percentage. The Flyers bounced back from another embarrassing defeat delivered to them by the Rangers. This one 8-3 by beating them the following night 2-1. This is a tough team to figure out. They outplayed the Rangers badly in that bounce back win. They outshot them 37-25. They dominated the faceoff circle 35-18. Yet they needed 2013 first-round draft pick Samuel Morin's first career NHL goal for them to get the win. And Morin's a great story. We don't have time for it today, but 6'7", 230-pound Morin had to deal with 2 different ACL tears over the last 4 years, and he's fought back to earn the spot. He's only played about 15 games in his life in the NHL, and he's someone that we definitely cheer for. No Glory K, we are in this right now. We're hammering this right now. And there it is, the Taint play of the day. I'm already on it. Ooh, Taint play of the day in business. And Slat says Elliott's confirmed. Okay, so that to me, that tells me everything on why we need to bet the Flyers. Let's let go of what Carter Hart's doing. Vigneault's going to lose his job. The team's going to be completely dismantled unless they go on a winning streak here. They're out of a playoff spot right now, and the Boston Bruins are saying, hey, look, we're not very good. We're holding on to 4th place. If you want to go on a winning streak, you can take this. Jive Man in the house. David Sharp ready to go. Love to see you, Jive Man. Okay, so it's the same old story with Flyers. Their big guns aren't producing. Vigneault constantly changing up his lines to no avail. Van Riemsdyk, Couturier, and Konechny are the first line. They're rated as the 11th best first line from Corsi ratings in the NHL. JVR got off to a great start. He's now doing very little. Couturier has 5 points in his last 3 games. He needs to heat up. Konechny last year looked like he was on the verge of a break to be a star player, and he's fallen back. Then you have Giroux, Hayes, and Farabee. They're the third-rated second line in the NHL. Lindblom, Patrick, and Voracek, they're the third-rated third line in the NHL. On paper, this forward group is easily top 5 in the NHL, and yet they're 18th in the league and are unlikely to make the playoffs. Their defense is not strong, but certainly not to blame for their poor record. If you want to blame anybody, blame the goaltenders first and the underachievers up front. This Sabres front office has been atrocious. Terrible decisions everywhere. And if you look back at the history of this hockey club, it's proud. First general manager, Punch Imlach, 8 years. Then John Anderson had a cup of coffee before Scotty Bowman was the general manager for 7 years. On January 9, 2014, Tim Murray took the job as general manager. Between him, Botterill, and Kevin Adams, they're Larry Moe and Curly, making asshole decisions. This city of Buffalo needs to have successful sports franchises. They're a blue-collar town, and when the sports are rolling and they're packed, it helps the city so much. Who do I blame? I blame these assholes. Botterill, Adams, and Murray. I blame them for the plight of that great city. And if I could, I would sharpen a chopstick, little slit right here on the side of their neck, drink a couple pint glasses of good old-fashioned Mexican tap water, lean over top. Actually, I'll just keep going here. Every other franchise has been the worst team in the league for extended period. That's been the worst team in the league for extended periods of time. Has done the same thing. They get their high draft picks. They build the team around them. They give the young players opportunities. We've seen the Penguins, Capitals, and Blackhawks take that to win Stanley Cups. They've made the template. And what happens to the Sabres is they sign these expensive free agents. Jeff Skinner, Taylor Hall, and Kyle Okposo. $23 million, 28.2% of their payroll. Are you kidding me? I mean, how can these guys be making these decisions? They have Ullmark back. Fade this team night in and night out. We'll move on. But that's my only look. I'm not making a move on the total here. The Flyers are a tricky cap right now. Flyers -1 and -115. And the Czar says Flint, Michigan water. Don't need to go all the way to Mexico. In Flint, man, I've had beers in Flint, and God, I blame those 3 guys for all the problems. Well, I mean, Flint obviously isn't, in New York at all, but still, I blame all the problems in Northeast America. I blame on those 3 guys. All right, let's get to work here. Next up, Islanders, Penguins. So I've made 3 bets so far in the NHL, and I need to talk about one more that I'm close to making. But here's 2 of my bets. I'm on the Islanders. I got them at -115. I thought that I should probably wait, and I didn't. I just pulled the trigger. Let's see. Okay, it's -110 now, so I would have got 5 cents better had I waited. I'm also on the under 5.5 at -115. There's gas station sushi in the house, and it's still right there. I like both of these spots very, very much. A. Haley says Sabres have swung and missed on high draft picks too, Jimmy. I don't know if they have. I really don't. I think Reinhardt's a beauty. I think Eichel is capable of being a great player. We don't know what Rasmus Dahlin is, but they should be getting all of the ice time for us to find out. They shouldn't be signing any high-priced free agents. Spenny Pennybombs took the Islanders in regulation. Xavier Oliver back in the house. Great to see you. I'm on the Islanders. I'm on the Islanders and the under 5.5, and I like the Islanders better than the under, but I like them both. We're at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Another great city. 22-9-4, 9-8-2 on the road. Pittsburgh Penguins, 22-11-2, 15-3-1 at home. There's Prince of the City in the house. Cool. Thank you, Prince of the City. We missed you. Penn Sports 24/7 says Penguins have been pretty hot lately. They certainly have, and we'll talk about that. So Varlamov, 14-6-3, 2.19 goals against average, 9.22 save percentage, 3 shutouts. Tristan Jarry, 13-8-2, 2.82 goals against average, 9.09 save percentage. Islanders power play 19.4%, penalty killing 80.9%. Penguins power play 20.4%, penalty killing 78.3%. We're going to get through NHL, then hammer NBA, and hammer the big Elite Eight games. So these teams just met on Saturday night. Penguins needed 26 minutes before taking a 5-0 lead. 25-year-old rookie Ilya Sorokin, who'd been unbeaten since mid-February, has 8-game winning streak snapped in rough fashion. And one of those games was a 2-0 shutout win over the Penguins. Penguins scored 4 goals on 9 shots. So let's just put a line through that game. The Islanders have won 3 straight and have been playing very good hockey. The sign of a good hockey team is when they can get victories when their best players aren't scoring. And that's what they've been doing. Matthew Barzal had to break his 10-game goalless drought in this last game. 10-game goalless drought. He's their best player. He'll be on Team Canada next year. And yet they've been winning hockey games. Birdie says, I totally understand the New York Islanders look, but I'm not stepping from the Penguins. I'll be rooting for you guys. I'm totally opposite in the game. I like Penn and over, so I'm just staying off. No, that's no reason to stay off, Birdie. But let me explain why I'm on my side and why I like it. Okay, so the Islanders are one of the teams that are consistently more than the sum of their parts. And I'm not sitting here betting on the Islanders as much as I am fading the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yes, they've been handling adversity spectacularly well. They're missing 5 forwards. Jenny Malkin, Kasperi Kapanen, Jason Zucker, Teddy Bluger, and Brandon Tanev. All 5 play on one of their top 3 lines. They have their second and third center out of it. So they've won 10 of 13. Yes, they've won 10 of 13. So Birdie doesn't want to step in front of them. I get it. But 4 of those wins, or 4 of those games came against the Sabres. 3 of those games came against the Devils. So over half of their games have come against the Sabres and Devils. And I know the Devils have played improved hockey. So the Penguins can catch the Islanders with 1 more win. You don't think Trotsy's talking about that in their faces before the game starts? 1 more win, and this shorthanded Penguins team passes the Islanders. Oh, Trotsy's going to be all over them. All over them. Has to be a spot where the Islanders step up. Anders Lee was lost for the season, but this team has weapons and a great coach. I'm on the Islanders, minus 115, but you can get minus 110 right now. And I'm on the under 5.5, minus 115. And the reason why I'm not on the minus 1 is because I won't take minus 1s on games that I am also on the under 5.5. If it's a 6, I'll still do it. But if I think it's going to be under 5.5, and I don't have the 6 for a push, then I'm not going to take the minus 1. There's Ray Charles, 27 in the house. And we are going to move on. So there's 3 bets on the first 2 games. And we have Gas Station Sushi talking about Greg Dar, his spectacular horse that he's got in his barn. Right now, he came second in a big race over at Santa Anita on Saturday. Spectacular horse. Mike Smith gave it a terrible ride. Greg Dar is going to be in the winner's circle many, many more times in the rest of his career. There's Mr. Gogster in the house. Alex Ramirez star the Spidey play of the day. Okay, so we move on. Oilers, Maple Leafs. Oilers, Maple Leafs. Toronto open, or this total opened up at 6.5 at a pick'em. It's still there. The totals in this Leafs squad are very tricky, and they can be held down all game long and erupt in 10 minutes and score 4 goals. I feel very uncomfortable having anything to do with totals with them. They open up at around where they are right now, minus 155. So there's not been much of a difference there. All right, let's go. Edmonton Oilers, 21-13-1, 9-5-1 on the road. At Toronto Maple Leafs, 22-10-2, 12-6-1 at home. Scotiabank Arena, Toronto, Ontario. Mike Smith, 11-3-1 on the year, 2.44 goals against average, 918 save percentage, 2 shutouts. I expect him to be in net, but if they did go with Koskinen, it wouldn't shock me here. Jack Campbell, 6-0-0, 1.48 goals against average, 945 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Could he be a starting goalie come playoff time? Bled's W is on the Oilers money line, and I understand why he is, but I do not trust this Oilers team enough to back them. There's my guy Juan Ruiz in the house. Oilers power play 26.8%, penalty killing 76.5%, Leafs power play 26.3%, penalty killing 77.1%. So special teams is sort of a wash with these 2 clubs. And Hutchie is in, says Mr. Gogster. Michael Hutchinson. Wow, is that announced? Michael Hutchinson will be in net. Wow, let's bring his numbers up very, very quickly. I mean, we saw him look awful, just awful in last year's playoffs, but and that was for the Avalanche. Then the Leafs bring him back. Wow, I am shocked at this. Let's go over Michael Hutchinson's record and then decide maybe if we should move on this spot for the Oilers. Here we go. Michael Hutchinson. Barrie, Ontario native, 3rd-round pick of the Bruins in 2008. He's had a much better season. A .922 save percentage, 2.39 goals against average. But, I mean, we're talking, the sample size is small, but he's had a much, much better season. Penny Bomb says, I don't usually ever bet against the Leafs, but Edmonton could be the spot tonight. They certainly could. Okay, well, that changes things. Michael Hutchinson in net tonight. Let's talk about this. Oilers had their 3-game winning streak snapped by these Leafs on Saturday night, 4-3. Toronto overcame a 2-goal deficit in the 3rd period. Tavares, 7:39 left. Nylander, 3:22 left. Austin Matthews in overtime. That's how good they are. The Leafs, there's Williams Fun Videos ready to get to work. The Leafs offense so strong. They can erase deficits so quickly. Draisaitl had a goal and 2 assists for Edmonton. McDavid had another 2 assists. This is a healthy Oilers group, thank God, because they have no depth and no secondary scoring. And Mr. Ghost said he had a shutout in his last game versus the Oilers. Leafs are a healthy group. Just Freddie Anderson out with an injury. He's expected to return to practice tonight. Wow, I can't just pull the trigger to fade Hutchinson here. But we saw what Sorokin did after shutting out the Penguins. He got destroyed by them in the next start. Mr. Gozer said he was also pulled last out in Ottawa in 5 minutes. Thinking about Sorokin makes me want to take the Oilers here. Wow, this is great stuff from the chat. So Michael Hutchinson will be in net, and you can get the Oilers at plus 125. But Ben Sports 24/7, Anderson is injured. That's what we're talking about right now. So he's out. He's not coming back. So it's either Jack Campbell or Michael Hutchinson. Yeah, there's Slats. You know me. I will always bet against Hutchinson. I will against tonight. I will never trust him. And Michael Overlina says take the over in the first period or the whole game. The thing is about these when you're playing the Leafs is you can't get in an offensive battle with them. You can't go shot for shot. You just can't go odd man rush for odd man rush, or you'll lose. Wow. They want to manage Jack Campbell's workload. This makes perfect sense. I mean, he's only played 6 games this year. So do we have that confirmed? There's Marlon Z in the house. Marlon Z, what a giant weekend he just had. Okay. Can somebody give me can we get confirmation? That must be because Slats knows he's in. Okay. So I'm going to take the Oilers here. I'm going to add this. Look, I'm going to add the Edmonton Oilers. And Nilo, I bet you it's not 125 when I bet it. And we see Hutch confirmed from Brandon Lugo. Christopher Carter, my man, thank you for listening while you work, my man. Okay, Edmonton Oilers is the bet. Thank you, Gokster. Thank you, Slatsy. And thank you, team. We move on. We're at 9 p.m. Eastern. Next up is the Ducks at Avalanche. Ducks 11-19-6, 6-8-3 on the road at Colorado Avalanche, 21-8-4, 13-4-2 on the season. We're at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. We have Colorado opening up as huge favorites, minus 310. They're now minus 425 favorites. How do you look, I'm not going to bet Anaheim, but how do you not at that number? John Gibson comes back. So Gibson's he's got strange numbers, but he takes too long off. He comes back and throws a shutout. He's a good goalie, and he's capable of stealing games. Williams Fun Video says, when are we going to get a Loshak special guest appearance? Man, soon. I miss him very much as well. So Ryan Miller could be in goal. So John Gibson didn't even back up last night, or the second half of the back-to-back. Some ailment. I don't know what it is. And Swerve 951 putting 1,000 on the Sabres to win tonight. That man has enormous balls. But you're fading the Flyers. But wow, imagine having the balls to put a rack up against a band on a team that's lost 16 in a row, I think Is that 16? Maybe more. Ryan Miller, 3.7-1, 3.4 goals against average. Oh, he's kidding. Okay. 880 save percentage. Grubauer, 27-1, 1.73 goals against average, 930 save percentage. Grubauer will be nominated for the Vezina Trophy at the end of this season. Ducks power play, 11.1%. Their penalty killing, 75.7%. And we're going to be getting into NBA here shortly. Avs, 23.1% power play, 87% penalty killing. There's Johnny K in the house. The Ducks are coming off winning 2 straight at St. Louis on Friday and Sunday. They're on the second half of a back-to-back. They're playing their third game in 4 nights. Stolarz made 38 saves in his first game of the season. So I'm not sure who's going to be in goal, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's Gibson. The Eakin says that it's a totally separate injury from his previous one, the reason why I wasn't in lineup, that it's a day-to-day thing and nothing we're worried about at all. Fowler, Henrique scored. Josh Manson won in overtime. Rickard Rakell, upper body. I'm not sure if he's going to play. He probably won't be in the lineup. He got hurt in a collision with Kyle Clifford. He leads the team with 22 points. They continue to be without Hampus Lindholm. And with all that said, look, there's no way I would ever take a favorite this big, and I don't want the Ducks in their third game in 4 nights. Even if the Ducks do get out to a lead, then see what kind of number you can get live betting the Avs. After defeating the Golden Knights at home 5-1 Thursday night, they lost the rematch 3-2 in overtime on Saturday night. Vegas outshot them 34-24. This is the first time Colorado's been outshot in 20 games. The last time they were outshot too was against the Knights. So good luck, Johnny. There's nothing wrong with being on the other side of me. We cat together and we don't always have to end up at the same outcome. Angry Avalanche squad. Bo Byram scratched with upper body injury. He got hurt Thursday night. He's just not physically big enough at this point. Dan Renouf took Byron's spot, and he immediately fought Kolasar, who took out Bo and Byram. Look, you guys know what I think. I think the Avalanche are going to win the Stanley Cup, and I think they'll play the Washington Capitals to get there. So we'll see. I mean, obviously the Lightning are going to be a problem. I'm off. But I want to bet the Jets, and I want to talk this out with you guys here quickly before we move on to basketball. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. I would like to bet the Jets, but did the Flames turn it around last game? I mean, that goal that Brossoit allowed was awful in the third period. Are the Jets going to come out firing as hard as possible on the last game of their road trip, or are they kind of happy with the results and wanting to go home? Those questions have led me not to make a bet yet. Jets 21-12-2, 11-7-1 on the road at Calgary Flames, 16-17-3, 9-6-1 at home. Scotiabank Saddledome, Calgary, Alberta. Connor Hellebuck, 16-9-2, 2.63 goals against average, 917 save percentage, 1 shutout. Jacob Markstrom, 12-11-2, 2.85 goals against average, 904 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Lucky Mio says, I think the Flames will win back-to-back. It was enough, Mio, to keep me off of betting the Jets, even though I wanted to, because I think Hellebuck is going to get very hot down the stretch here. Good likes the Jets under. Let's take a look at the market moves here. We have Calgary opening up at minus 125, moving down to between minus 105 and minus 115. For a total, we have the 6 has dropped to 5.5. So Jets, Hellebuck, Markstrom has not been very good. I expect Markstrom to be in goal for the Flames. Jets 26.7% power play, penalty killing at 78.6. And Ben Sports says no, back-to-back against Hellebuck. It wasn't Hellebuck in net, Ben. So Hellebuck still got his winning streak going. It was Brossoit, and Brossoit did not look good. Slats says Jets 9-2 after a loss. I was on them Friday, stayed off Saturday. I think they dig in this game. Jason Albert, my man Jason Albert, I now follow him on Twitter. Jason Albert, loving the Islanders tonight, so do I. So I agree. I kind of want to go. I kind of think that Hellebuck is a Vezina quality goaltender. He hasn't had a very good year. He gets back-to-back shutouts in Vancouver, gets some confidence. Good says after a loss, Jets play tighter. I'm rocking with the under for now. If you got in on the run under at 6, great. At 5.5, you know what? You're getting the plus line, but I would prefer to have the push at 6. Bromp says you have a score prediction for the Jets game. Well, let's talk it out a little bit more, and then I'll give one. Jets power play 26.7%, penalty killing 78.6, Flames 20.3 and 80.5. And Mr. Gogster, I saw that. So let's get Jets had their 3-game winning streak snap, 4-2 loss on Calgary Saturday night. Levo, Giordano, Mangiapane, Sam Bennett scored for Calgary. I really think Sam Bennett will thrive under Sutter's system. Goodrow had 2 assists for his first multi-point game in a month. Calgary 5-5 since Sutter took over. So the Jets had Logan Stanley get his first NHL goal, and Mason Appleton also scored for the Jets. And this is a team where those front line stars, after moving Stastny up to the first line, had been rolling. The Jets lead the series 4-2-1. They're a healthy squad, just Beaulieu out of the lineup. And Pierre-Luc Dubois has not been very good since the trade, but it's a strong, dynamic group. Yeah, I agree with you, Ben. I just don't know if I have enough confidence. See, why when these teams are worse than the sum of their parts, like the Penguins are more than the sum of their parts. And we saw this in each of the last 2 seasons. They lose either Malkin or Crosby. They go on a winning streak. They have all these injuries. They go on a winning streak. Then they go in the playoffs and they get destroyed. The last game of the road trip does also concern me. You know, I think the Jets can win this game, but I simply can't bet on them. I just can't take money out of my pocket here and bet on the Jets. My nervousness about the Flames, whether they could possibly heat up and start heeding Sutter's advice, makes me not want to make a move on it. Oh, nice. Down in CR. Man, I wish I was down there with you, WTF. Mr. Goga says Jets can win, but Flames will win. Wow. Johnny K liking the Flames. Okay, so I'm going to stay off. So if you want me to predict the final score of this game, I will predict 3-2 Jets, but I'm not going to make a move on the under. Okay, let's move on. So we have still 2 games left. Okay, quickly here. Let's get through this one. And Cordero, Lindsay in the house. Love it. 10 p.m., we have Kings, Knights. Kings 13-6, 7-9-2. Golden Knights 23-8-1, 13-2-1 at home. T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's almost NBA time. We have this Kings squad, or the total sitting at 5.5. It was slightly juiced to the over. It's now a pick'em, or slightly juiced to the under. From a money line perspective, this is LA opening up as plus 170 or $175. Now they're between plus 180 and 190. So money coming in on Vegas, and understandably so. There's Jacket in the house. Great to see you, Jacket. We're talking NHL. I know you love it. I expect Johnny Quick to be in goal. Cal Pearson did not look good last game. I know he has a nice overall record, but there's Turnsey ready to go. Jacket is on the Sabres at plus 155. We have a few guys that believe in the Sabres squad, and you have Yolmark in goal, but okay. Golden Knights. I expect Lehner to be in goal, and that's because we have an issue with Marc-Andre Fleury, I believe. I've got to double-check that. Kings, power play, 24.3% power play, 85.9% penalty killing. Very good special teams. Knights, 19.2% power play, 84.3% penalty killing. The Kings were unable to carry over their momentum from beating these Knights 8 days ago. That's fresh in Vegas' mind. They lost 2 games in 3 days against the lowly Sharks. The 2 losses pretty much sealed their fate, missed the playoffs again. In both losses, they badly outshot the Sharks. They took 40-plus shots in both losses. This should be a very fresh Kings squad that has been off since Wednesday. Ole Mata remains out for the Kings. The Knights bounced back nicely from that 5-1 defeat against Colorado. They beat them in overtime. Pacioretty scored the goal in overtime. They outshot the Avalanche. Mark Stone leads the league in points in March. I read that Turnsey. Yeah, Fleury still struggling with the loss of his father still. Ben Sports 24/7 says Lehner is good, but I see lots of value on the Kings tonight. Birdie likes Vegas minus 1.5 here. They're getting healthy and need to go on a run here, plus revenge spot for him. I agree with that as well, but I still just don't like this team that much. I still feel like they're not that good, but I agree. If there was any bet, if I had a free play, I'd take Vegas minus 1.5 with a free play, but I'm not going to. Move on to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We have Minnesota Wild 21-10-1, 8-7-1 on the road. The San Jose Sharks 13-16-4, 5-6-2 at home. This Wild team is playing bad hockey. They're now up to about minus 160, minus 165 favorites. Their record doesn't say they're playing bad hockey. Their record says they're playing excellent hockey. Their total of this game opened up at 5.5 as a pick'em. There's been a 10-cent move towards the over. Kaapo Kähkönen or Cam Talbot, who will be in net? Because they've been going to Talbot a lot lately. They certainly believe that Talbot's their number one, when I believe that Kähkönen is their number one. So I'm not sure who's going to be in goal. Both have similar numbers. The Sharks are going to be going with Martin Jones. He's playing really good hockey. They got to keep going back with Martin Jones. Wild power play at 9.7%. Their penalty killing at 85.7%. Sharks 18.5% power play and 79.5% penalty killing. And there is Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. The big podcast is tonight. So check it out. Those UFC fans in the house, check it out. And I will keep rocking here because we're going to get into NBA. We have a huge NBA card. So the Wild have won 3 straight, but all victories have been very underwhelming. The defense has remained strong, allowing 3 goals in 3 games. Kirill Kaprizov still is a sniper, NHL rookie lead. Cam Talbot made 37 saves for a second shutout of the season in that 2-0 win Thursday night to stretch their record home winning streak to 11 games, but they were outshot 37-11. Jones has been playing very well, and they looked after those 2 wins over the Kings like this team might get their shit together, but they're coming out being swept in 2 games by the Coyotes, 5-2 and 4-0. Martin Jones was in that 5-2 loss to kind of end the streak, but then he sat out the 4-0 loss. The Sharks simply cannot be trusted. Johnny K says Sharks are better than the Wild. I do not believe that. I do not agree with that. But the Wild are not. They're not to be trusted, and I can't take them here as a huge road favorite with the way they've been playing. They're only 8-7-1 on the road, so I'm off of this game. All right, so let's review action. I'm on the Philadelphia Flyers -1, -115. Also, and with that 0-5 day on Saturday, I was just rolling while we were working together on the show, and then I leave you guys for a day and I fall apart. I'm now down 3.45 units. I lost 5.6 units on Saturday. Unbelievable. And Swerve on the puck line with the Sharks. Swerve, as long as you can, I'll support +1.5 as long as you keep a plus number. You never turn a favorite into a dog. Or sorry, never turn a dog into a favorite. Birdie's on the Wild -1.5. Thank you, Kevin Pine. So I'm on the Flyers -1 at -115. I've already bet that. I'm on the Islanders at -115. I've already bet that. That's down to -110. Oh, sorry, the -115 is not what I got. I got -1 at -124. I gave that out on Raw Mike Richards this morning, radio show, and a different book was hanging the -1, -115. So, and then Islanders -115. I'm on the under 5.5 at -115. And then I added the Edmonton Oilers. With you guys. And Johnny K says Sharks top 6 better than the Wild. Yeah, it's arguable, but I don't think that I wouldn't fight against that. I mean, if you look at the bottom 6, though, the Wild are probably have with Marcus Foligno on the line, they have the best bottom 6 in the league. Mark Rosado says, where is Maxwell at today? Yes, I miss Maxwell very, very much, and I wish he was jumping on the show. I do. So I added the Oilers. That's it. That's it for me. So I have 4 looks. I've already bet 3 of them. I'm adding 1 more. Kevin Pine says, I really like the Jets, but seeing a lot of public money on them. I'm too uncomfortable with that game. Let's move into NBA. On Friday, I had a 5-5 day here. Then on Saturday, I took the Mavericks at -1.5 and no Luka and no Porzingis. And I was so angry that I didn't bet NBA yesterday. And I'm still angered, and I haven't made any moves yet. So let's work together here, and let's get some glory coming in NBA. I need it badly. So thank you guys all for joining us. We're going to break down each and every one of these NBA games, and then we have 2 huge Elite 8 games. So we have a ton of work to do in NBA. We work together to defeat the juice. Let's attack right now and truly, truly jump in as much as possible with as many insights as you can have. I will be watching very closely. And K-Paul VIP, Clippers, Oregon State, Flyers parlay. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Pacers, Washington, we're just going to go down in order chronologically. Indiana opened as 2-point favorites. That's ballooned to 5-point favorites. Washington, Indiana total opened at 236.5. It's dropped 3 points to 233.5. Pacers 21-23, 13-11 on the road at Washington Wizards, 16-28, 9-14 at home. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Pacers' last 5 are 4-1, and their pace in the last 5 is 11th at 99.3 possessions a game. I've always given out the pace for the last 5 games, but I'm going to add in the record, too, for the last 5, which is something I haven't really been doing. Wizards' pace, last 5, 2 wins, 3 losses. They are second in pace over the last 5, 102.60 possessions a game. Mark Unkelfer says value is gone. Pacers have won 2 straight in 4 or 5. They're coming off defeating a shorthanded Dallas team, 109-94 on the road. Sabonis 22-15. Brogdon goes for 22. They hit 23 pointers. Brogdon goes 6 for 9. That matches their franchise record. Going into the game, Turner led the NBA in blocks at 3.4. He had 7 against the Mavs. And Dougie McBuckets, 12 points, 4 threes, went out in the second half with a right ankle sprain. He is questionable. Wizards snapped a 3-game losing streak, 106-92 at home versus the Pistons on Saturday night. Beal had 17 points in 21 minutes before he left in the third quarter with a bruised hip after starting the game with a sore right foot. So he's out now, or questionable, I should say, questionable with a right hip contusion. And if you're looking at the move from 2 to 5, you have to think that the betting public at this point does not expect him to be in the lineup. Westbrook goes for 19, 19, and 10. 15 triple-doubles. So in his first season with Washington, he's now tied for the career franchise record with Darrell Walker. Westbrook does it in 37 games. Darrell Walker does it in 283 games for the then Bullets from 87 to 91. Washington nearly gave back a 30-point lead after Beal left. It was wild. Absolutely wild. I thought they were going to I thought the Pistons were going to complete the comeback, but then they got their shit together. Rui Hachimura had 14 points. Daniel Gafford, 13. Gafford, 6 of 7 from the floor, 5 boards, 3 blocks in his first game for his new team. Hutchinson also dressed but did not play. Bertans MRI is going to be out with the right calf strain. He'll be out for 2 more weeks. Ben Sports 24/7 says Pacers have been getting hot on the road lately. Can't back Washington without Beal. I agree. Matt Randall says Thursday's like Christmas Day for him. MLB, baby, yes. And another thing is, usually the MLB, NHL, NBA altogether is my 2 toughest weeks of the year. This year is going to be more than 2 weeks. So I'm not sure how we're going to pull this off, but we can worry about that starting on Thursday. Matt Shedden says no Beal. Pacers roll. Always play better the second half of the season. They're going to make a push. Yeah, I agree with that. The issue is, let's just see when this market moved to 5 here. So now it was the very opening lines before the limits go up that had it at 2. A lot of books were afraid to drop a number here because of Beal. So they opened it at 5. So it's not like, I know when you hear a 2, that's with very low limits, you think, oh, I missed the line. But if you look at these, okay, I take that back. So the books that did open around 3:30 in the morning were at around 3.5. Like Bet365 opened it at 3.5, and they're now at 5. 3:39 a.m. That's a tough. And Bertans is out. Well, this would obviously be Pacers or no bet. Pacers or no bet. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger. And you have to think that if there's no Beal, then the under would be in play. You're going to have Gafford out there. You might have Chandler Hutchinson. This could be an ugly game. There's razor sharp picks in the house. So when did this under? So this under opening line was 236.5, but that was the very first available line. So, yeah, 235.5 from the legal license book. So we've lost 2 points of value and probably should stay off of it because of it. Okay, so we have my man Silent, very strong capper, 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Rui Hachimura. David Sharp says yes. Pacers are no bet. And there is our guy Aaron Gaza letting us know that Jaylen Brown ruled out. Thank you for sharing that information. All right, let's move on. Johnny K on Pacers team total over. All right, let's move on. Bet or under. Move at 233.5 might be too low. We move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Pelicans 20-25, 6-14 on the road. At Boston Celtics 23-23, 13-7. And we just got the information from Aaron that there will be no Jaylen Brown in the lineup. Boston opens up as 5.5-point favorites, so the market knows about Jaylen. He's down to the leading indicator books have moved this all the way down to 2.5. So if you're going to move on the Pelicans, do it as soon as possible because all the books will follow suit now. There's still a 4 on the board, there's 3.5s, and there's even a 2 on the board. So the market is just adjusting to this news. We have our man Dylan Turner loving that Rui prop. Okay, let's go. We're in TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. Pelicans last 5, they're 3-2. Their pace is 25th in the NBA over the last 5 games, 95.50 possessions a game. Celtics pace 3-2, 14th in pace at 98.55 possessions a game. Pelicans have won 3 of 4. They're coming off a 112-103 home win on Saturday night against the Mavericks team missing Doncic and Porzingis. Williams, Zion, 38 points. 10 during that run in the last 3 minutes and 42 seconds. Rick Carlisle said this is a Shaquille O'Neal type force of nature with a point guard skill set. Man, that reminds me of when they said about LeBron that he's a house that runs like a gazelle. Special dude. And look, Nilo says it's off the board. The Pelicans game is off the board. Joshua Chipman says, Pacers are going to smash tonight, Jimmy. Don't be scared. Yeah, I think you're right. It's a tough thing when you miss the market by such a huge extent. But I hear you. And Bob Taylor looking at Pacers first half. In this situation, Bob, I generally would give the team as much time as possible to take advantage of the win. I wouldn't go with just the first quarter, first half. It's not a point where they were scoring last game. They were spectacular last game against an undermanned Mavericks team. So I wouldn't move on it right there. And those of you coming in late, Tank play of the day, 2-0 on the show since we've been back live. Oregon State plus 7.5. So Zion goes for 39 on Denver on Friday night. 38 last game. He surpassed LeBron with his 11th game of scoring 30 or more on 60% shooting or better for any player under 21. In 24 games since February 30, he's averaging 28 points per game. Lonzo Ball missed his 4th straight game with the right hip flexor. Backup center Jackson Hayes, right wrist sprain. They're both listed as questionable to go. And Birdie already got Pelicans at +4. David Sharp says Pelicans have hit 5 in a row in the first half under. This is great stuff. Thank you, David. And Ron Walsek says, will fade Magic Friday at Jazz and Sunday at Denver. There you go from our man Ron Walsek. And Leo Nestastog got Flyers +110. Wow, how did you do that, Leon? That's unbelievable. Are you sure that's not the -1.5? That's -1. Viper liking the under here. Celtics have won 2 straight. They swept the road back-to-back, winning 122-114 in Milwaukee on Friday. Followed that up with a 111-94 win at the Thunder. Now they have no Jaylen Brown. And the total is not moving at this point, but it's off the board at some books. 230.5 down to 229.5. Jaylen Brown, 25 points. Boston had lost 5 of 6 before winning those back-to-backs. 17 points in the first half for Brown, 6 of 6 from the field. 5 of 6 free throws in 16 minutes. He was rolling. Rob Williams had 14. Kemba rested. Fournier out still because of health and safety protocols. Langford and Tristan Thompson both out due to safety and health protocols. And Semi Ojeleye is out indefinitely with a hip injury. Wow. Well, Kemba will return and Tatum will be there. So with all that said, it's off the board at Bet365, so I'm going to be curious to see what they put up. But Kemba coming back, Tatum knowing that he's going to have to be a monster offensively, does make me curious about Tatum props. And I don't have time to look them up right now, but I'd be curious to see what Tatum props are. And the under must be in play. It must be in play. So we'll see what they put it at, knowing that Jaylen Brown is out. Aaron Gaza says Pelicans are nothing. Yeah, I'd be leaning towards nothing at this point. from a side perspective. Okay, let's move on to Timberwolves at Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn opens up as 11-point favorites. They get to 12. Now they're back at 11. This total opened up at 239. You can get it anywhere between 238.5 and 241. I mean, the books are all over the map here. And it's 2 now, says Razor. 2 now. So, first off, I tell you what I want. I want Kyrie to be back on the floor, and I want to take the Timberwolves first quarter. And I know I barely squeaked out that magic first quarter at plus 3.5 on Friday night, but I just feel like Harden has been in control of everything, and now Kyrie's going to come back and want the ball. Timberwolves first quarter is what I want, but again, this is something that I'll wait because I expect money to come in on the Nets all day, and that's not been happening so far. 11-35 on the year, 5-18 on the road. Brooklyn Nets 31-15, 17-6 at home. We're at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Timberwolves are 1-4 over the last 5 with a pace that is 6th in the NBA, 100.4 possessions a game. Nets are 3-2, 21st in pace over the last 5 games at 96.40. And Birdie says Pelican money line is in play now. Matt Shedden says Kyrie's back today. Nets will win, but cover not sure. The Czar says take Harden assist over 11.5 if Kyrie plays. That's a sharp look. And Razor saying that the public hammering Boston, they don't care who is in the lineup. In Opfa. I've missed you, man. In Opfa, spectacular thoroughbred capper. Great capper all around, but man, is he spectacular with the thoroughbreds. Dylan Turner says I actually already took mini first quarter plus the points. Kenneth E. says Jimmy Heat are the play. I look forward to getting that game. Let's talk. Timberwolves are coming off their 4th loss in 5 games, an ugly 129-107 loss at home to Houston. Cat, 27 points, 15 boards. They trailed by as many as 34 points. Malik Beasley returned from his 12-game suspension. He did not look good. 13 points, 4-7 shooting. I expect him to be better. Not better enough to take his player prop, but better. Josh Okogie missed his 3rd straight game. He's in the league's health and safety protocols. D'Angelo Russell expected to begin participating in team activities at the end of this week or early next week. The Nets are coming off their 3rd win in 4 games, 113, 111 at Detroit. They keep adding players. LaMarcus Aldridge has now joined the squad. Now they have LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin, 2 guys I just hammered against all year long for their fear of the paint, and now they're both on the same squad. Harden goes for 44, 14, and 8. Griffin scored 17 points. We all saw the dunk and him screaming, I still got it, I still got it. God. See, the thing is like when a guy gets into the end zone and he's used to getting into the end zone, he acts like he's done it before because he's a professional. When a guy dunks, he acts like he's done it before. He doesn't skip up the court screaming, I still got it, I still got it. DeAndre Jordan had 10 points and 9 boards. Brooklyn still without KD, and Kyrie expected to be back tonight. Landry Shamet isn't expected to play this week. Ben Sports 24/7 says, besides Cat and Edwards, who's going to score on these Nets? It has to be Malik. It has to be him, or it's nobody. And David Sharp says they got your 2 boys. Easy to slap them both in the same game. Yeah, you're right. And Silence says, anybody sees Joe Harris 3 prop at 2.5, smash that. So with all that said and done, I want Timberwolves first quarter. That Turnsy's already on, but I'm going to wait. And, in all honesty, I wouldn't be against taking them full game. I'm surprised it's gone from 12 to 11. So I'm going to keep an eye on this market. I'm definitely going to take Timberwolves first quarter, and I wouldn't be against them full game. It might be something I pull the trigger on. Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Heat Knicks. We've already heard from our guy Kenneth Heath that Heat are the play. Heat 22-24, 10-12 on the road at the Knicks, 24-22, 14-8 at home. We're at MSG in New York. Heat last 5, 0-5. Their pace slow in the last 5, 95.22 possessions a game. Knicks are 4-1, 22nd in pace over the last 5 at 96.39 possessions a game. The Heat open up as 4-point favorites. There's been no movement there. One book has added a hook. This total opened up at 208. It's now down to 206.5. Ben Sports 24/7 says Heat been playing bad. Might have to lean Knicks. Johnny K is on the Knicks. Sardellis 67 says Heat turns the Heat up starting tonight. Dylan Turner says the Heat have to win here. Ron Walsack, you're a good man. I'll answer that quickly. Ragu is back in action. He's doing well. He's going to be in Vegas quite a bit over the next little while. He's going to be in Vegas for anyone who's going to be a huge low bag function in Vegas. I wish I could be at for the Kentucky Derby. All right, let's go. Heat fortified at the deadline, but they're coming off their 6th straight loss, 110-105 at Charlotte. Butler, 20 points, 9 assists for the Heat. He missed Thursday night's 125-122 loss against the Portland Trail Blazers with a stomach illness. Duncan Robinson also went for 20. Kendrick Nunn suffered a right ankle sprain in the first half, did not return. He's not available tonight. Goran Dragic also didn't play. He is probable to play tonight. Oladipo and Belicha, who were acquired by Miami in trades Thursday, were ruled out of those games because it hadn't been approved. But we expected both of them to be ready to play tonight. That is not the case. Oladipo, head cold, unavailable. Oladipo will not be in the lineup. There's Arthur Meade Jr. in the house. Razor's going to be there too. Man, it's God. North Ender ready to rock and roll. TJ Main says, I'm taking Knicks money line. David Sharp says Heat are 2-8 in the last 10 against the spread. So let's break down the Knicks. They've won 3 straight and 4 of 5. They're coming off a 102-96 win at Milwaukee over a severely undermanned Buck squad. Alec Burks, RJ Barrett each scored 21, but the victory hurt. Mitchell Robinson, broken right foot in the first quarter. He was averaging 8.5 points, 8.4 boards, 28 minutes per game. And remember, he shot that NBA record 74.2% from the field last year. Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson will be getting a lot of opportunity. It might not be pretty. Derrick Rose had not played since February 28th while recovering from COVID. He returned. He played 29 minutes, 13 points, 6 of 15 shooting. Julius Randle, thigh, questionable for Monday's game. Reggie Bullock, ankle, questionable. You know what? Jacket's going to be there. Jacket, stay in touch. We'll stay in touch on Twitter because I'll let you know where everybody is. So, Anerski Prophet in the house. You know, it just without Mitchell Robinson, with this Heat needing to step up now, and they're not going to have to integrate Oladipo into the lineup. They're going to have Goran Dragic back. Sure, the Knicks are playing good basketball, but maybe this is a Heat spot. Brian Watson ready to go, and 2-unit play by Turnsey on the Heat tonight. You know what? It's ugly watching Nerlens Noel out there. It's and now you have Randall, thigh questionable. Yeah. I wish it was MSG with a full arena. But I think Ray Charles says, I know Knicks are scrappy. They'll play till the end. They're going to have Dragic back. No, none, but it's okay because they have Dragic back. Butler's got to step up. Okay, I'm going to move on the Heat. I need that 4. I think they start rolling. God, 4 is not a good number, though. I guess it's Mitchell Robinson. Losing Mitchell Robinson hurts them. Vincente Gigante says Heat need to win. They're going to be super motivated. Arthur Meade Jr. on the Knicks team total under. Okay, so we move on. Raptors, Pistons. Pistons 12-33, 7-13 at home. Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Raptors last 5, 1 win, 4 losses. They're 9th in pace at 99.80 possessions a game. Pistons 1-4, 15th in pace over the last 5, 98.30 possessions a game. Torrey Coker says Heat will win and cover. And Bet365 adjusted the Pelicans line to +2. Okay. The Raptors open up as 5-point favorites, and that's the very first line that comes out. Now it's 3.5. This total opened up at 219 when the limits were very low. It's down to 214. Raptors have lost 2 straight in 11 of 12, coming off a 122-117 loss at home versus the Blazers. Siakam coming off his 3rd straight strong game. Good thing to wait till we're out of it before you come on. Jesus. He finished with 26 points, 8 boards. Van Fleet, 20 points, 8 assists. So Lowry out with a sore right foot. Nick Nurse expecting Lowry to travel with the team. So, Very interesting. Lowry missed Sunday's game with soreness in his right foot, but he says it isn't serious. DeAndre Bembry, Paul Watson Jr. missed the second game due to COVID protocols. Pistons have lost 4 straight, 14 of 18. They're coming off an ugly 106-92 loss on the second half of a back-to-back at Washington. Wayne Ellington, 15 points for the Pistons. Jeremy Grant departed with a thigh bruise. He's listed as probable for Monday's game. Detroit shot 38.8% from the floor and committed 19 turnovers. They're already without Magruder, who's doubtful. Hamidou Diallo, who was out with groin and injury management, and Dennis Smith out with back soreness. Matt Shedden says, if the Raptors want to even think about the playoffs, they need to win these winnable games. They can't afford to lose these types of games that they could win. Ben, I had, what did I have Dragic as? I had him as probable. I have him as probable. But he's crucial to the game, so I'm going to have to confirm that, but I have him as probable. Dennis Garcia says, kind of like Toronto, recent struggles with Detroit were when Raps were dealing with COVID issues. Sharp Money says, can only look to Raptors. Well, I need to know that Kyle Lowry is going to be in the lineup. So that's going to be a wait. That's going to be a wait. Danielle Marie, thank you for joining us. We got Danielle Marie saying, learning so much here. Just opened my FanDuel last month. Good spot. I'll be coming back often. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you for joining us. All right, we move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Memphis Grizzlies at Houston Rockets. Grizzlies 21-22, 10-9 on the road at the Rockets, 13-32, 6-16 at home. Memphis opening up as 5.5-point favorites that balloons to 8 as soon as people can bet. This total also opened up at 221.5. It's all the way up to 225.5. Wow. Puzzler is on the Raptors tonight. Nathan Cerna is on the Grizz. We're at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Grizzlies 3-2 over their last 5, first in pace over the last 5, 103.74. Rockets are 2-3. They're 13th in pace over the last 5 at 98.7 possessions a game. Grizzlies are coming off 2 losses in 2 nights at Utah Friday and Saturday. They lost the first one 117-114, close game, then got beaten badly in the second one 126-110. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights. This is their 4th game in 6 nights. Valanciunas had 13 points, 11 boards. Kyle Anderson, 16 points. Brooks, 13. Ja went in for 12. They're a healthy squad other than missing Jaren Jackson. The Rockets snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 129-107 victory at Minnesota on Saturday night. Kevin Porter Jr. scored 25 points in his return to Houston's lineup. John Wall had 13 and 12. On the Friday night in the series opener, they blew that 29-point second-half lead. They outscored 22-0 in the final 7.5 minutes. Kelly Olynyk added 16 points in his first game after coming over in that trade for Oladipo. Sterling Brown added 16. They're still without Christian Wood, and he's listed as questionable tonight. I don't have him listed as out. Arthur Mee Jr. says they won the NBA championship title last game with their win over the Timberwolves. Avery Bradley, also questionable. He came over. Olynyk from Miami. Rockets shot 73.9% in the first quarter, scored 41 points. They snapped a 10-game road losing streak. So Olynyk takes over Wood's starting spot at center. That's their 30th different starting lineup in 45 games. Exum, Dante still out. And Sports 24/7 says Grizzlies have blown out by 15+ tonight without Wood in the lineup. You know, I don't know if they do in the 4th game in 6 nights, 3rd game in 4 nights. I mean, if you want to take me, you would take them early. Take them first half. Andrew Nicholas looking for Noli's unders. Yes, we missed Noli. He'll be back in action here. What about first half for Memphis? It's a -4 first half. I don't want them full game because it's their 3rd game in 4 nights. I think that first half would be a nice spot. And then talk about unders, excuse me. Memphis is going to be able to control the paint. So they're going to want to slow it down and get the ball in the paint. And yet this totals at 225.5. Maybe that's gone up too high. I'm going to take Memphis Grizzlies first half. Memphis Grizzlies first half. But I feel like I might have waited too long for the market. Let's just see what that first half opened at very quickly and then decide if I did wait too long here. So point spreads, first half. Spread. So it opened at 3.5. It's now at 4. Well, I would need to have hit that 4 for the win anyways. Now it's a push. I'm hesitant. Nathan Cerna on first half, full game, Grizz. No, Czar. Christian Wood is not out for sure. He's not. Okay. So we have questions there. We're going to get into NCAA basketball as well. But let's move on to Mavericks, Oklahoma City Thunder. Mavericks 23-21, 12-11 on the road at the Thunder, 19-26, 8-14 at home. By the way, Matt Shedden is saying Houston won't score 100 under. Won't score 100. Under is a good play, but if you like the under, then you like the Grizzlies to cover. Shane Schwader in the house. The Czar says then you can't back the Grizzlies yet. So you're right. If you think that Christian Wood has a chance of playing, you should wait because you'll get a better number. If you think that he's not going to be playing, you should bet it now. That's very, very shrewd. Okay, let's move on to this spot, Chesapeake Energy Arena. Mavs pace last 5, 23rd in the NBA, 96 possessions game. They're 2-3. Thunder 2-3 in the last 5, and their pace is 3rd, 101.30 possessions game over their last 5. Let's go to spreads and totals here. We have Mavericks, Thunder. Mavericks open up as 9.5-point favorites. They're now 11-point favorites. This total opened up at 216.5. It shot all the way up to 220.5 and 221. David Sharp says the Grizz have lost 8 in a row at the half against the spread. That's a very important note. Thank you, David. Puzzler saying getting reliable effort on any given night has proven something of a challenge this year, and getting reliable injury information has been a very enormous challenge for us all. The Mavericks lost both games of back-to-back, 109-94 at home on Friday, and then 112-103 on Saturday night in New Orleans. So the 109-94 loss was against Indiana at home. They're without Luka Doncic for both. Porzingis for the last one. Doncic illness and back tightness isn't on the injury report for Monday's game. Kristaps Porzingis is also available after missing Saturday's game. So Dallas should be, relatively whole versus shorthanded Thunder squad. The Mavericks were led by Hardaway, 30 points. Brunson added 24, replacing Luka. They trailed for the first quarter for the 10th straight game. Dallas has trailed at the first quarter for 10 straight. They've gone 5-5 in those games. And J.J. Redick does not have a timetable to return. The Thunder have lost 2 straight, both at home, 116-107 to Memphis on Wednesday and 111-94 to Boston on Saturday night. Moses Brown, 21 points, 23 boards to tie a Thunder record. Al Horford inactive for the rest of the season. Brown moved into the starting lineup. He had 19 boards in the first half. Theo Maledon added 22 for Oklahoma City. Austin Rivers being waived. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander remains out with plantar fasciitis. And all 5 starters, Brown, Maledon, Lou Dort, Alexei Pokusevsky, and Isaiah Roby are in their first or second year. Wow. Bleds W says Mavs first half. I mean, they've been losing after the first quarter in 10 straight. Hard to believe. Brady says, I bet OKC plus 9.5 got a bad number. Apparently, we'll look to bet them again if this keeps climbing. I also believe there's a ton of value on OKC money line. Wow. King Fortnite in the house. David Sharp says Thunder getting 3.5 in the first quarter. I love the dogs on the first quarter, but I don't know if I can do this, man. I don't know if I can back this Thunder squad when Luka's been off for 2 straight games and Porzingis is going to be back as well. I'm not going to take the Mavs. I'm not going to take double-digit favorites, ever. But and then we know the trends of the Mavs starting slow. Johnny K also on OKC money line. Man, big balls. Johnny K and Birdie. I can't do it. Okay, we move on. And when I'm saying I can't do it, is I can't take the Thunder on the spread first quarter, even though I love those bets. Andrew McNicholas is absolutely right. He says, very tricky trying to balance getting the best number and waiting on injury reports. It is never been harder than it is this year. Matt Shedden says, Thunder always start out strong, but then finish the game extremely weak. They're road dogs, not so much a home team. Yeah. MHP says, with Dort out, they can't defend Luka. And Viper says, great job, Pazzi. Viper tries to keep me off these first quarter bum spots. that I so love. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Sacramento Kings 21-25, 9-13 on the road at San Antonio Spurs 23-20, 11-13 at home. We're at AT&T Center at San Antonio, Texas. Let's see what we got here. Sacramento opening up as 4-point dogs. That's moved to 2.5. This total opened up at 227. We're all the way up to 229.5 at the leading indicator books. Let's go, Arthur. Let's go. Sharp money. San Antonio play of the day. Kings past 5. They're 4-1. They're 16th in pace over the last 5 at 98.20 possessions a game. The Spurs are 1-4. They're 12th in pace at 98.80 possessions a game. The Kings have won 4 straight to match their longest winning streak of the season. They're playing their best basketball. They're coming off a 198 home win over the Cavaliers. So, after I wrote they're playing their best basketball, and then I wrote that they barely beat the Cavs at home on Saturday night, I was like, maybe that's a poor sentence that I wrote. Barnes finished with 16 points and 11 boards. They won it on a Harrison Barnes buzzer beater. Beauty play. De'Aaron Fox scored 20 of his 36 points in the fourth quarter. Wow. 6 assists. Rashawn Holmes added 10 points and 14 boards. DeLon Wright, Terrence Davis, Mo Harkless were on the floor together as part of Sacramento's second unit. Marvin Bagley missed the 6th straight game with a broken finger. He remains out indefinitely. Scar Bucks. His Bucks 2.5 seems like easy money to me. And King Art is on the Thunder at the half at plus 6.5. And Jojo Rich agrees on the Spurs. Let's talk about these Spurs. Brady says current form, I think Sack is the look, but the Spurs are so unpredictable, so I'm just staying off. Spurs snapped a 4-game losing streak with a 120-104 win at home over Chicago on Saturday night. Jakob Poeltl scored 20 points. DeMar DeRozan, 17. Spurs finished with 29 assists. It was the Spurs' 7th game in 9 days. I mean, they were so bad in that series against the Clippers. And then, of course, they come back and smoke Chicago. Derek White, Patty Mills had 16 each. DeWante Murray, Keldon Johnson, 14 each. Devin Vassell did not return after spraining his right ankle. His status is unknown. Lonnie Walker missed his 3rd straight game with sore right wrist, and he'll be out for a week. Shane Schwader says Tyrese Halliburton, in my opinion, best rookie this year. Johnny K says Kings streaky. Sharp Money says I watched every minute of the Kings the other day. They were slow and sad. David Sharp's on the first half under at 118. These are 2 teams that just aren't consistent and are very hard to trust. And I can't look. I know I'm sitting here with very few moves, even though the Pacers may end up being a move and the under. Let's see, I've not moved. Oh, I might move on the under in Pelicans Boston. I am going to take the Timberwolves first quarter, but I'm going to wait and watch the market and find the best time to do that. I am on the Heat -4, -110. I need to know if Lowry's playing, and then I'll take the Raptors. This is the kind of card that you need to talk it out and then afterwards sit and stare at for an hour and get all the latest injury information. I think the Grizzlies first half are a spot, but they haven't covered, as David Sharp said, 8 straight first halves. Mavericks, Oklahoma City, I'm off. The Kings, Spurs, I just can't trust either of these teams. The Czar says I like the under Fox over 20 points. Spurs have no rim protection. You're right. And if you when you get into the paint against the Spurs, it's often DeWante Murray that's sitting there trying to keep you out of it. And for those of you guys joining us late, we have our taint play today, Oregon State plus 7.5. Okay, let's move on. Cavaliers, Utah Jazz. So this to me is a spot with the Jazz as 16-point favorites. And after looking so good, that I am going to move on the Cavaliers. When you get to the arena and it's empty and the Cavaliers are on the other side, you don't exactly get motivated. And the Cavs are motivated. And the first quarter plus 5.5, I don't know how you don't take that first quarter plus 5.5. Now, understandably so, huge spread and Jared Allen out of the lineup. Let's talk about this spot here. Cavaliers 17-29, 6-17 on the road. Utah Jazz 34-11, 19-2. Viper saying no. Viper, look, hey, on Friday I cashed with the Magic first quarter. I'm going to go. This is too many points. It's too many points for a first quarter. We're a Vivint Smart Arena, Salt Lake City, Utah. Jamax Wavy says, don't take the Cavs, bro. David Sharp says, I'm all in on Jazz first half. Jazz are winning 70% of their last 20 first halves against double-digit dogs, only covering 50% of the time. Desar says, Jazz may want to end this fast. Jimmy and rest the starters in the fourth. Look, when I bet against the Jazz, and here Bled says Jazz do start slow. When I bet against the Jazz first quarter, and I lost the last one, but it looked like I was going to cash it. They do get out of the gate slow, and I mean, slow maybe isn't the right word, but they don't force it and they don't rush it. Joey Work in the house. Great to see you, Joey Work, my man. OG low bagger right there, Joey Work. Jazz 5-0 over their past 5. 10th in pace at 99.70 possessions a game. And yes, Robert McLeod, no Jared Allen out with a concussion. Cavs 2-3, 7th in pace over the last 500.30 possessions a game. They're coming off a 198 last-second loss at Sacramento. Sexton, 26 points. A layup with 1.6 seconds left. That could have been the game winner. He missed the previous 2 games with a sore right hamstring. Darius Garland had 18 points for Cleveland, which led for most of the fourth quarter. Cleveland 4-25 when trailing at halftime. They have to move Larry Nance Jr. over to center, which doesn't work very well. Torian Prince, questionable to play tonight. Love and Dellavedova out. And a lot of people are telling me not to do it. I'm doing it. Now, I might not do it right away. I'm going to have to keep an eye on what's going on with this. Let's just see what they've done here at this offshore, leading indicator offshore. Oh, yeah, that the plus 5.5 is getting juiced. Fat Win says Utah one of the best first quarter teams to me. Look, it's an easy thing to say about a team that's 34-11 and 19-2 at home. I just think when you show up to an empty arena and it's the Cavs on the other side, and we can talk about this tomorrow, and Fat Win, a spectacular capper out of Australia. Look, I can understand why this isn't liked. But I see the Cavaliers fighting until the end. And I think 16 is too many points. I really do. I think it's too many points. I mean, if we go back to what we said about the last, remember when the Jazz played the Rockets and the Rockets were completely undermanned? The Jazz were in complete control. They were dominating that game, but they rested everybody in the fourth quarter, and the Rockets players were happy to be playing, thankful to be playing, and they ended up covering. There's Lamont Williams in the house. And Desar says Jazz have fans now. How many? Okay. So I'm going to take the Cavs first quarter, and I'm going to take the Cavs full game. I just might not bet it right after the show. I think the first quarter has to be bet right away. Okay. Let's roll. We move on. Oh, by the way, I didn't talk about the Jazz coming off their 5th straight win, 126-110 at home over Memphis on Saturday night. Mitchell had 35 points, 7 assists, 12 of 17 from the field. And he's playing so well. Jordan Clarkson, 28 points off the bench. Gobert chipped in for 16 and 14. Joe Ingles, 15 and 7. They made 19 threes. Conley was out for right hamstring injury management. He's listed as questionable to play tonight. And Matt Thomas came in. Ex-Raptor Matt Thomas came in for 6 minutes, scored 0 points, and turned the ball over 3 times. I felt like I was doing it on my own, the turnovers. I felt like I was like, all right, Matt Thomas, mess this up. Okay. David Sharp, not all their studs are out. Now, look, Sexton's back. Garland's back. That's what I need. Now, I need to know that that Sexton is playing because he's got the hamstring issue. Loloy Baloloy in the house. Great to see you. Loloy back in action. Okay, let's keep moving here. Move over to Bulls, Golden State Warriors. Bulls 19-25, 10-9 on the road at Golden State Warriors 22-24, 13-9 at home. We're at Chase Center in San Francisco, California. Bulls last 5, 1-4, 17th in pace, 98.16. Warriors last 5, 1-4, 5th in pace at 100.50 possessions a game. No Steph Curry for the Warriors. Let's see what we are dealing with. Let me move back to a full game. And here we go. Chicago opens up as 4.5-point favorites. That goes all the way down to 1. All the way down to 1. Bulls have lost 3 straight, coming off a 120-104 loss at the Spurs in their first game with Vucevic in the lineup. This total opened up at 224.5. It's up to 227. JoJo Rich is on first quarter over 55. Vucevic, 21 points, 9 boards, 4 assists in the Chicago debut. Zach LaVine had 18 for Chicago. Bulls were down 65-39 at the half. Dice won't make his debut. Oh, it's actually possible that he makes his debut here. It's possible. He had a family member. So he says he will join the team in time for this game. Zach LaVine, probable for Monday's game. He's got a right ankle sprain. Christian Cassandra says the line movement suggests Curry is playing. I think the line movement suggests Zach LaVine is not playing. That's how I see this. Cavs to score over 20 in the first is plus 240. Is that what you guys are saying? Really? Wow. Oh, to be first to score 20 in the first quarter. No, I don't need them to be the first to score 20, but that correlates with my action. No, 5.5 is enough for me. Yeah, first to 20. I feel you, Birdie. So, look, Curry's not – I mean, he's supposed to be reevaluated today. So this has to be a waiting game because I do not think Curry's playing, and I think that it's saying that Zach LaVine is not playing. Jamax, I'm not on Oregon State on the money line. No, I'm on them plus the points. The Warriors have lost 4 straight. No, Birdie, I get plus 240 or minus 110. But the plus 5.5 is an enormous amount of points in 12 minutes. I do not need to win the race to 20 to catch the plus 5.5. So I hear you, Birdie. You know I love the big plus lines. Nathan Cerna says Yahoo Sports says Curry questionable tailbone injury. Warriors have lost 4 straight. They're coming off a 124-108 loss to Atlanta at home on Friday night. Wiggins scores 29 points for the Warriors. We are going to get an NCAA basketball very soon. We just have 1 game left. This is our 10th game, and we're doing good. We're getting through it. 10th NBA game here right now. Wiggins for 29. Draymond Green was one of a bunch of players and coaches to receive their first dose of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. And they were held out on Thursday. He woke up feeling ill. Green didn't attempt a shot all night, had 9 assists. Still wasn't feeling good, but he gutted it out. North Ender, it correlates because I'm on the Cavs plus 5.5. So obviously I think that the Jazz could start out slow. You're getting the plus 240 for a reason. I'm not going to take it, but it correlates because I like the Jazz first. I like the Cavs first quarter. So if you like the Cavs first quarter, and let's say you have $150 on the Cavs first quarter, there's no reason not to put $25 on the Cavs first to 20 at plus 240, and I'm not going to do that. But I can understand the thought process there. Vail Gotti says first quarter may also be the play for the Jazz. Nathan Cerna says with all the injuries, I like Bulls Warriors under. Well, we need to see who's in and who's out at this point with Bulls Warriors to make a thoughtful decision. Okay, the final game on the card, Bucks Clippers. Bucks 29-16, 11-9 on the road. Clippers 31-16, 16-6 at home. We're at Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Bucks 3-2, 4th in pace over their last 5, 101.20 possessions a game. Clippers 5-0, 24th in speed pace over the last 5 games at 95.60 possessions a game. Ray Charles says, I hate Draymond Green like Jimmy hates Blake Griffin. Yeah, I don't hate Draymond. The guy's he's cocky, but you kind of need that when you're a superstar, and he's a tough guy to play against. Blake Griffin's not a tough guy to play against. Man, love to play one-on-one with Blake Griffin. First thing I do is I throw the ball at him. Okay, the Bucks have lost 2 straight. They're coming off 102-96 loss at home to the Knicks when they're playing without 4 starters. And we had our Whale Capper, because I do a show on Friday nights with Whale Capper for his weekend best bets. He gave out the Knicks at +9. They go off at what, -2.5, -3? Giannis Antetokounmpo sat with a sprained knee, as the They were without starters Middleton, DiVincenzo, Drew Holiday, Giannis's brother, Thanasis, 23 points. Jordan Nwora, 21 for the Bucks. So Bobby Portis, their leading scorer off the bench, missed a second straight game due to COVID-19 protocols. We have Portis, Tucker, and Crooks all out, but none of those four who missed the game are on the injury report. So they're all expected back here against the Clippers. So let's see what the market is telling us here. We have the Clippers opening up at -1. They're now 2 or 2.5. This total opened up at 229.5. They're now 231.5. I hear you, North Ender. I hear you, my man. The Clips have won 5 straight. They're coming off a 122-112 win at home over the Sixers on Saturday night. Kawhi Leonard scored 28. Terrence Mann added a season high 23. Paul George went for 24. Leonard missed Thursday's game at San Antonio due to sore right foot or rest. Didn't show any ill effects. 19 points in the first half. Rondo will remain out for Monday's game against the Bucks. Beverly and Ibaka will remain out. Rashad Davids in the house. Rashad David says, take the over on Bucks versus Clips. It's gone up 2 points from 229.5 to 231.5. Sharp Money loves the Clippers here. Rashad says, trust me on this one. The over. Rashad Davis telling us about the over. I'm going to have to study that over more, Rashad. If this was the late game on the card, and I work at night and then I wake up really early so I can cap all these games for you guys. But David Trump says, I'm looking at the under. It played to a total of 195 last time. Hey, listen, says Bucks are about a 500 team on the road. Yes, 11-9 on the road. I hear you, Birdie. John Ryan special there. Sharp Money on Clippers in the over. But Rashad Davids coming in and saying, take the over, trust me. So I will copy and paste that, Rashad. And nice to see you in the chat, my man. Because we do award the Vegas Gun Award for Excellence in Capping. And the first Vegas Gun Award for Excellence in Capping for our first week of shows goes to none other than Birdie. Birdie, you were spectacular last week. And you are our first winner, the Vegas Gun Award for Excellence in Capping. And I will tweet that out today. So let's go over our NBA card one last time. Pacers, it's probably a smash spot, and it's probably the under. It's just that the market's moved so far that I'm going to have to sit and make sure that I still like it. The Celtics, without Brown in the line, without Jalen in the lineup, I think that Tatum goes off, but I've been burnt by Tatum before. And the under is a very interesting look. So those are the two spots that I'm going to sit with and decide to pull the trigger on. I'm going to be on the Timberwolves first quarter, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Heat -4. I'm going to move on that. I need to know if Lowry's in the lineup, because if he is, I do have a lot of interest to backing the Raptors. The Grizzlies first half, they don't cover them, but after getting beaten so badly by the Jazz, I think they come out strong. I want the Grizzlies first half. The paint's going to be a scary place. I'm going to make a move on the Grizzlies first half. I'm off of Mavericks Thunder. I'm off of Kings Spurs. Cavaliers. I'm moving on them first quarter at +5.5, much to the chagrin of my friends in the chat. And I also want them full game. Vail Gotti is on Clippers all the way. Polo this, Polo that says Pelicans huge. Then we need to know what's going on in the Bulls-Warriors game. There's been a huge market move. It's either saying Curry's in or Zach LaVine's out. And I kind of lean towards Zach LaVine being out as the market move. And then we've had Rashad Davids say, take the over in Bucks Clippers. And that's going to take a little bit more time. A-Dub says Lowry out with sadness because he didn't get traded. Rashad says Fournier will play, and if Brown is out, then he will pick up the points for the Celtics along with Tatum. So Fournier will play. And let me just go to my notes for that game quickly before we move into the big Elite Eight action. Come on. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be because he's been out because of health and safety. I like your idea there, Rashad. Keeping me back from the Tatum move. All right, Kitty's up. Thank you, Sharp Money, for rolling with us. Diesel, Eugene, OG low bagger, my man Diesel in the house. Let's look at David Sharp. What did he move on? He moved on Jazz first half, Heat team total over 104.5, and King Spurs first half under 118. King Art says Levine in, Curry out. I just don't understand why there'd be a 3.5 point move towards the Warriors. Jamax is on Pelicans money line. All right. Well, the beat goes on for us in NCAA tourney action. We are on one hell of a run right now. We have we've hit 13 of our last 15. 13 of our last 15, and that goes all the way back to the end of the first round with Grand Canyon plus 14.5, Eastern Washington plus 10.5, Mizzou, Oklahoma under 141. Then in the second round, Arkansas plus 115, Rutgers plus 7.5, Rutgers, Houston under 132, Oral Roberts plus 9. Then we lost on North Texas, Villanova under. But then back, Oregon State plus 6, Oregon plus 5, Abilene, UCLA under. And then in the round of 16, Oregon State plus 7, Oral Roberts plus 11.5, and then we lost Syracuse plus 6. So we've hit 13 of our last 15 in NCAA basketball. Just the tournament, because we went 2-2 in the NIT. That's just the tournament alone. We have Matt Randall on the taint play of the day, Oregon State plus 7.5. So I did make a mistake. And one thing that I probably shouldn't always stick with, and that's this belief that if I'm on it, that a lot of cappers will also see the value in it or see the reasoning and will bet it. And it doesn't work like that. And this was a perfect example. I took Oregon State plus 7.5 at minus 110 as soon as I could. And now it's back to 7.5 or 8. I could have gotten the 8 had I waited. And then Arkansas is now at 8. And I'm sitting there with them at 7, and it was a mistake. Yes, King D, NHL Islanders money line tonight. Yes. So mistakes. Let's talk about these two spots right now. How much fun is tonight going to be, man? God, it's so funny. We talk about this often. How Mondays are this bane of people's existence, and everyone hates Mondays, but not us, man. Not only get a new week of great games to cap. Love Mondays. Okay. Elite 8, Midwest region, Oregon State, Beavers plus 7.5. Minus, what did I get? Minus 110. Okay. And you're right. Matt Randall said the same thing happened 2 days ago with Oregon State. Exactly. Same thing. 20-12 on the year. Houston Cougars 27-3. We're at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Here we go. Let's do this together. Elite 8, baby. The Beavers are trying to become the lowest seed team, the second. Or is it the lowest seeded team ever? I thought they were the second lowest seeded team ever, I believe, to reach the Final Four. I have the lowest, but I think it's second. They're in the tournament for the first time since 1990. Houston in their first regional final since Phi Slamma Jamma in 84. Big game. Oregon State has won 6 straight games and has been between 7 and 9 point underdogs in all of them. This team believes. They held Tennessee, Oklahoma State, and Loyola Chicago with 61 points per game on 31% shooting, 23% from 3. Teams are hitting 18 of 78 from 3 against them. Vail Gotti, I will for sure. You mean, Jackie, you mean the Ekblad injury for the Panthers? It's going to be devastating. Devastating. Here we go. We have an Almac article here. Jump on it. Take a look at it. I'm going to put it in the chat too before we get through it. But since 2016, the tournament, the dog has covered in 18 of the last 28 games played from the Elite 8 on. 18-9-1. Wow. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Al, for sending that out. Pull this, pull that. By the way, thinking Raptors win by 15 plus. We just need to know if Kyle Lowry is going to play. Pull this, pull that. Okay. So the one thing that well, they do a lot of different things, but one of the things they do, Oregon State, is they can give you so many different looks on defense. They can go to 1-3-1. They can play zone. They have so many assets defensively that they can throw at you. Ethan Thompson's been excellent. Alatishe's athleticism. You got Lucas hitting daggers. And you have Silva playing as well as he's played in a long time. There we go. Dogs are 11-4-1 in the Elite Eight since 2016. I love that stat. Okay, so Houston has been spectacular defensively as well. They held their 3 tournament opponents to 60 or fewer. They out-rebounded each team by at least 9. They held Syracuse to 46 points, 28% from the field. DeJounte Giroux is handling his hip injury, and he's so good. 34 minutes, 9 points, 8 boards, 8 assists. Marlon Z says, I'm going to be taking Houston. So Marlon and I didn't give out an official pick here on Baylor because it moved from 7 to 7.5, but I'd given it out on the radio, but I didn't get that win here for show picks. But for my radio picks, I was 3-0, so was Marlon, and I had Syracuse and he had Houston. So I can understand going back to the well with Houston. I get it, Marlon. But I've got that same bias with Oregon State. They've been cashing for me all throughout the tournament. Quentin Grimes, Marcus Sasser are very tough to stop. They have great defense. I just see this as too many points. That's all. Too many points. I'm on Oregon State Beavers plus 7.5, and it's also the Taint play of the day. I'm riding with Taint. Matt Shedden, let's get some comments up from the chat. Matt Shedden says, you have to give Oregon State credit, but Houston is a real deal. They're a lockdown defense and can score. They've done all. Oregon State might cover, but Houston wins. And by the way, back to NBA says, tell me you didn't just say that. It says, I didn't get all the Pelicans love, especially the lower number. They were life and death with all the games with Mavericks without Doncic and Porzingis. I agree. There's Dennis Garcia in the house. Hey, listen, say Houston's great with second points. And as I said, Tank play today, Oregon State plus 7.5. Okay, turn C. All right, so I'm on Oregon State Beavers plus 7.5. Let's move on to the South region. Arkansas Razorbacks at Baylor Bears, and I'm on Arkansas here. And Arkansas just keeps coming at you. Now, everybody who's been watching this tournament sees how dominant the three-headed monster of Baylor is, and look, I get it. But if there's one team that has length in their own three-headed monster at guard, it's Arkansas. Moses Moody 6'6". Jalen Tate is 6'6". Devontae Davis is 6'3". So, and the Czar says, number one bet is Celtics NBA public today. No love for the Pelicans up here in the chat. Interesting. So the number one public bet today is the Celtics at this point. Sonny Griffin, a Baylor alum, is backing his boys. Look, I get it. Arkansas 25-6, Baylor 25-2. This line open with Baylor at -7. It's now at 8 at most books, especially the leading indicators. This total went from 150 to 148.5. Birdie says, same way doing too many points. I agree. David Sharp has a plus 800. Arkansas futures make Final Four. Hoping Arkansas can get up quick so I can hedge. I agree. Vail Gotti, we love you. Rashad liking Vucevic point spread for points and Rudy Gobert rebounds. Says you will print money. I like Rashad in the chat. I like it. Okay. So Razorbacks seeking their first trip to the national semifinal since 95. Musselman has been great in his second season. Baylor's last visit to the Final Four came in 1950 when the tournament had 8 teams. Look, I understand why Baylor's getting the love. I understand why people are cheering for them. Their three-headed monster guard is very good. Maceo Teague, senior, 6'4". Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell, 6'3" and 6'2". They combine to score 46.4 points per game. They're veterans that can score any which way, and they can play defense. On bad games, they hit high 40% from 3. On good games, they hit over 50. Look, they're a very good basketball team, and they're spectacular guards. But Moses Moody, Jalen Tate, and Devontae Davis might be able to slow them down a little bit. They might be able to defend the perimeter a bit. Moses Moody and Jalen Tate are taller, and they have longer arms. And I know that Baylor's dealt with that this year and fought through that, no problem. But Arkansas is going to keep coming at you. Justin Smith is going to have his hands full in the front court. It sucks because he's not that big, and Arkansas is asking him to be 6'10 and 250 down there. He's, 6'7". But I think that this Arkansas team, well, I know from watching that they just keep coming at you and keep coming at you and keep coming at you. Makes me think of that Wu-Tang song. So your ass shut and keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you. And I think they can cover. Now I wish I had have waited. Look, I wish I had the 8 in my pocket. The Czar says Arkansas runs no offense, though. That coach sucks. He's had a pretty good year with them. Nice. Gerald Jones pulling up to the River Sportsbook. I love it. He's taking Pacers, Memphis, Houston, and the Beavers. Oh, Gerald, my man. Enjoy it. Okay, so that's that, baby. I'm on both dogs. And I can't wait for these games. I can't wait for this night. What I can wait is what the hell I'm going to do with this NBA card after everything we've talked about. God. So, yeah, Diesel also says 8's too much. I wish I could get the 8. I feel like an ass clown for sitting here with the 7. All right. I love my NHL card. I'm very confident in it. I'm coming off. We were 7-1. We were sitting 7-1. Let me just pull up my NHL record here. What the hell is it? There we go. We were 7-1 in the last 2 days on the show here, and then I went 0-5 on Saturday. Finally got above plus units, and then I take it right in the bottom mouth on Saturday. They're coming back. And here we go from our Al Mac. Check out the NCAA Elite 8 betting trends page before you go. And that's a big help to us. If you could hit that link and check out the odds.com site and take a look, that's a big thank you to us. So that would mean a lot. Nathan Cerner liking the under. Houston first game. I love my NHL card. Flyers -1. I think that price is great. It's just going to get worse all day. Islanders at -115 and the under 5.5 at -115. And then I added the Oilers money line. Thanks to you guys. There he is, R2D2 Finland. Back in action, R2D2 Finland. We've missed you. What a great guy he is. Thank you, James Lill. Jacket, best bet for NHL today? Yes. My best bet is the Flyers -1. Now, let me just see what the Flyers – and those of you looking for a -1 and don't – it's so important because baseball starts on Thursday. Let me just pop it into the chat for you guys. This is the calculator we use. And Al Mac is setting up a -1 page for us on odds that we will refer to all the time. But right now, because this is my best bet, use that to get yourself the -1 line. And we have Birdie's NHL parlay going for 3 straight. Going for 3 straight here. Vegas -1.5, Flyers -1.5, and Islanders money line. Ooh-wee. That's a good. Okay. So Flyers -1 to -115. Islanders -115, under 5.5 -115. And the Oilers is my addition. That was thanks to the chat. We know that Hutchinson's in goal. We're going to fade him. We're going to attack him with the Oilers. R says bullshit, smack Golden State Warriors. Yeah, but we just need to know why is there this huge market move towards the Warriors? So there's something going on. Something going on with Steph, or there's something going on with Zach, but we need to know what's going on. So here we go. There's Luis in the house. Great to see you, Luis. Okay, so in NBA, and this is tricky. It's a tricky card. So we're going to go over this one last time. If I can get, has it moved more? I just need this Pacers line to not move anymore. I think the Pacers is fine at 5. And Trap House says I like Bulls either way. I feel you. So I'm going to move on the Pacers, and I have to decide if I've waited too long to take this under, because it's just dropping. But that's what I'd like. I'd like the Pacers and the under, and I want to move on it immediately. I'm interested in the Tatum props, and I'm interested in the under in Pelicans Boston. But if Fournier's back, that's going to require more study. I'm going to move on to Timberwolves first quarter, but I'm going to wait. I want money to come in on the Pistons. On the Nets. Then I'm on the Heat -4, -110. I'm going to move on that. I need to know what's going on with Lowry. If he's good, I'm going to take the Raptors. I'm going to move on the Grizz first half. I think they're angry about that loss to Utah, and I think they'll take it out on the Rockets, at least for the first half. Yeah, let me just go back to our spot there. I don't think – because of Julius Randle. Yeah. The Julius Randle is a huge part of the puzzle there. And K-Paul VIP says Fournier's in. I hear you, Fap. We'll be watching closely. So I'm going to move on the Grizzlies first half, even though they haven't covered the first half in 8 games. This is a nice spot where they can bounce back here and be angry. And they're young. And that they care about winning these games. And the fact that they're playing Houston doesn't mean they're not going to fight for this. I'm off of Mavericks Thunder. I'm off of Kings Spurs. I am on Cavaliers first quarter and Cavaliers full game. But in saying that, I am going to look into Sexton, make sure he's good to go. And then I need to find out what's going on Bulls Warriors. And Rashad telling us to make a move on the over 231.5 in Bucks Clippers. I'm going to have to look at that a little closer. Then I'm on the Beavers +7.5. And sadly, I have the Razorbacks at +7. So I bought it in immediately. R2D2 Finland, our guy, says NHL tip of the day. Rantanen, Avs, 2 points. And Diesel Eugene is on the under, going up against Rashad. Robert Cherry, I won't, but I will check it out as soon as the show's over. Thank you guys so much for your support. We had a huge card today, and they're going to get ridiculously huge come Thursday when baseball's here. So we're going to have to figure out how to attack it because there's going to be an alarming amount of games. Johnny K on Jake Gensel props. North Ender says, let's go Beavers. Thank you, guys. We have no show without you guys. Birdie, Mr. Gokster, Johnny K, North Ender, K. Paul VIP, Diesel Eugene, Robert Cherry, R2D2 Finland, the Czar. I like it. David Sharp, Alex Ramirez, Spidey, play of the day is Spurs -2, Clippers -2, Sharks at +144, and Knights -1 have a +120. Fat win. Dylan Turner, The Puzzler, Trap House Books, Dennis Garcia, Johnny K, Luis Gonzalez, R, Jacket, Al Mac. Oh, we do. We have it up. We have the betting tools now. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Al. I didn't know that was up. My fault. Perfect. Great job. And there is the NHL parlay from Brady. We'll close on this parlay. He hit Thursday's parlay, Friday's parlay, so he's going for the hat trick, and he won our Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping last week. Much love to all you guys. Let's go. What a day. What a Monday. God, all these people are on there all sad at work. It's fucking Monday. Not us, baby. Huge NBA card. Huge NHL card. Elite 8. Let's have an incredible Monday. Let's get that cash. Lecce. Hey, those bookmakers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's eat. Let's cash.